Hey guys, it's B here from USB-C Gaming, and today I'm kind of doing a different video. Pretty much what I'm doing is that I like to watch these on YouTube, and so I figured I'll try one out. So, pretty much what I'm doing today is I'm going to be doing a pretty much like a story time video almost. Like I'm going to be I'll do these every now and then if you guys do like them. Just with some background gameplay. Anyways, though, so I'm just going to be telling stories pretty much of just cool or funny or embarrassing type things that have happened in my life pretty much. And so, yeah. So, my cat is being really annoying and she's like scratching me. And if you hear like a licking sound almost, it's because she's like washing. I don't know. I've tried to get her to move a few times, but she just stays there, and she tries to trap me with her shiv. She tries to trap me with her claws. So that's not very nice of her. But anyways, though, so yeah, so let's get into the story. So, pretty much, in case that you didn't, uh, I don't know. Actually, you know what? Screw whatever I was gonna say. Let's just get into this. It's because this is a funny story pretty much for me. Um, because it turned out like it started out kind of like really annoying and kind of bad. And by the way, I'm playing some some hide and seek on the Hive. Really cool mini game. You should check it out. And since I'm a bookshelf, I'm screwed. But anyways though, so like I was saying, let's just get into this. Um, I'm just like, alright, let's just try to find a spot. Okay. Anyways, though, so let me just pretty much tell you how the story started. So, my dad has been dating a girl, as far as I know, since like January or February something of last year, right? And so pretty much, when summertime came around, I went up to because they invited us to go camping, me, my little sister, and my dad, and stuff, right? So it's a really good campground. I had never really gone there before, and I had met her one or two times before this, I think. And so we were planning on staying up there for like 4 days. And let me just tell you this. Although it was really fun, it was a little bit annoying just because like I had pre-ordered a video game at my local store before I knew that I was going camping, so like it came in like as far as I know the day or the day after I left. And so pretty much what happened is that yeah. I was like kind of bored there and I was always thinking constantly about oh yeah, I anyway, so I was always pretty much constantly thinking about that game that whole entire time, but that was just I just thought that was really rude, almost selfish of me. I do kind of feel bad for doing that. Anyways, though, by the way, in case that you can't really tell if there's a difference in my voice or something, if you can tell, then sorry. It's just that I stayed home sick today. I wasn't really feeling too great, so I just stayed home, and my throat is like really killing me. Um, Anyways, though, so let's just get back into it. Just because, well, yeah. So pretty much what happened is that again. So this is a really nice campground. It has like all this stuff in it. It has a pool. It has like a miniature. It's a pretty good sized arcade, I'd have to say. Um, And so it has like all this stuff, it has a store, it has quite a few playgrounds which were really fun. One of them even had a zip line, and that's for like a shorter story because like something happened with this zip line, and let me just say it was not good. So let's just get into this. So So anyway, so like we were at the pool. I now listen. I went there twice. With them. So like me, my dad, and my little sister, we all went up camping with her and her three boys. Twice. And so I can't remember if this happened the first or the second time. As far as I know, it was the second time. But I'm not 100% sure. But like I said, I'm pretty sure that's the second time. So pretty much I was just kind of like sitting around in a hot tub pretty much because they had pools, they had hot tubs, they had all that stuff. So I'm just kind of relaxing. And like these really kind of like annoying, like really loud kids were just like in like a hot tub right next to us, or like two down from us because they had four. So we were like, I can't remember which one, but we were one or two like we were the second one that you see, I think, like when you walk in. So anyway, so we're just kind of like relaxing in there and stuff. And so I'd say like 20 minutes before I went to the pool, I was pretty much waiting for everyone else, and they were just like, "Oh yeah, here, take some money, go to the arcade. We'll meet up with you there. We just have to do a few things." So I was just like, "Okay." So I went to the arcade and stuff, and I played a couple of games. I played a claw machine, and I actually won a ball, which the I'll get into like the reason why that is so funny a little bit later on, because let me just tell you this, it's pretty hilarious. Anyways though, so like, so I actually did win a ball. I'm really good at claw machines. So no, so like not to brag or anything, but it wasn't super surprising, and I was gonna say lad like to my game crash. Um, Anyways, though, so I'd won one of those, and so I decided to take it to the pool. And you may be thinking that could be kind of dumb, especially where you take it to a hot tub. Yeah, but we were just like gonna play pass with it or something like that. Um, so anyways, so so they were all being loud, like, because I had won the ball, and then they met up with me. We got to the pool and stuff. And so like we get into the hot tub, and they're being like really loud and really obnoxious and like splashing us with water and stuff. And so, I was like the only one that really wanted to go and like ask them to stop doing that, because I was getting like really annoyed at this point. Even though that you may think, well, that's kind of dumb. You're in water. It's just like, yeah, I get that, but it's still it's kind of annoying. So I just went up to them, and I was just like, hey, you guys are just being a little bit annoying. No offense. You're splashing us with water and stuff, and it's just getting really annoying. Do you mind if you just like splash the other people in your hot tub and stuff? It's like, if it's fine if you do that, just we don't really want to get splashed. And they're just like, oh yeah, sure. And so like they were kind of like saying it like yeah, I'll try, but I'm not gonna really care that much. And so I wasn't really like too concerned. And so they keep on doing it and stuff, and so we're just trying to playing fat pass with like the little ball. Let me tell you this, it wasn't like a full on like football or like baseball or basketball. It wasn't like a huge one. It was like a little like rubber spiky ball pretty much. Like, I don't know if you've seen one of those. You probably have. But anyways, so it's kind of like nothing like super huge, I guess. And so when I was there, kind of like again, we were playing pass, and this one kid kind of like he overthrew it, and it actually landed in their hot tub. Now I went over and I was just like, "Hey, I'm really sorry about that." Which he kind of like overthrew it. Do you mind if I just have that back? And they were just like, "Oh yeah, sure." And so I was just like, "Okay, well these guys aren't actually kind of being jerks like they were earlier, so that's pretty cool." Um, so this is when it started to go like downhill, and I knew that I was going to start to get ticked off and something bad was going to happen. Because if you don't know this about me, I have a really like bad temper. I'm like one of those people where it's like, listen, um, I will give you about like two chances once you like are a jerk with me. After that though, no, just like I'm gonna be a complete jerk back. And so, anyways, so like I was just kind of like sitting there, like waiting for them to pass the ball, because I was like, wait a second, they're not really doing anything with it. All of a sudden, this kid's just like, "Oh yeah, what is your friend doing in the hot tub over there?" So I look around and I turn back right as he throws it into the woods. And so again, so this is a campground. There's like woods all around it, and there was like a railing that you had to jump over to get into the woods because they didn't really endorse the fact of you going in the woods. They didn't really want you to. So anyways, so I was just like, you really didn't have to do that. And I jumped over the fence, I got the ball, and I went back to my hot tub, right? And so, I'm just kind of like sitting there and stuff, and so I put the ball on the side and everything. And the same kid comes back and he's like, "Hey, you mind if I borrow that to play with?" He's like, "I'll return it." And I was just like, "No." And so he's just like, "Well, I'm gonna take it anyways." And I was just like, "No, you're not." And so he just like took it, and then yeah. And I was just like, "No, you're not gonna do that." So I like snatched it out of his hand and I went back. The next thing that he does is probably the second most extreme thing that happened that day. He decides that it's a good idea to run and do a cannonball in the hot tub that has like 7 people in it, I think. Because it was me, her 3 boys, and they both, and like 2 of them brought friends and stuff. And um not to mention that there was just like this other little boy that was just kind of like sitting there, and he had made friends with my little sister and stuff, and so we were like just trying to like sitting and stuff, and he just was sitting with us because thought that he knew me, he knew my little sister and stuff. We had no problem with him sitting there though, and so pretty much he's just kind of sitting there with a smile on his face right as he comes back up. And so I'm just like, you know what, guys? Let's just avoid this. Like in this video, I'm gonna call him a jerk, but I called him something a lot worse. And I'm not gonna say it on video just because I try to keep it like a PG on this channel and stuff. And so, anyways, so we're just kind of like, so we moved to the pool, right? And so, we're all like jumping in and stuff. And we have my ball and stuff. And so I'm ready to do this like big jump and stuff. And so this kid goes into like the kiddie end, which is kind of like pretty much like the shallow end, and they have like this like rope against the shallow end that they endorse not to have like little kids go past unless you have an adult with you or something. But I'm 13, I'm a really great swimmer, I'm like really close to 6 feet tall, so I had no problem. The bottom was like 7 feet to 8 feet, I think, at that pool, which was really cool. Anyway, so I'm getting ready to do this really big jump. And so this kid's in the shallow end and he's like yelling stuff at me and all that stuff. And he had like all these different people with him and stuff. Inside, so like all of his friends and family and whatever. And so all of a sudden, like one of his friends, like, like grabs the ball pretty much. And what does she do? She runs and puts it into the restroom toilet. Now, again, I'm going to get into a really funny part with this. But so like now I'm just getting really like ticked off. I walk over to my dad and I'm just like, "Listen, we gotta do something about these kids and stuff." And he's just like, "Just avoid them. I'll talk to them in a second. I gotta go and deal with your little sister who is being like really naughty or something at the moment." And he's just like wait by the pool or something and I'll be right there. So, like we're all jumping in and stuff, and so this one point I'm just kind of like standing there watching someone jump in because they were gonna do something. And I noticed that the one kid, and this was like 2 minutes after she put it into like the into the toilet. So, I'm still pretty mad and stuff. And so I noticed that the one kid is not there. I don't see him anywheres and stuff, and I'm just like, okay, that's kind of weird. Hopefully he left. And so he runs up and pushes me into the pool, right only to have the other kid. And so, like, I'm going down there with like my eyes open and stuff, and the other kid that was with us pushes him into the pool. So he like slams down, and let me just say, I don't feel bad for saying this because this kid was like an absolute jerk, but he was really fat, so it made like a huge wave. And again, you may be thinking, whoa, that's like really cruel to say to someone. And it's just like, listen, this dude was an absolute jerk. Not the worst that I've dealt with, but he was a jerk. And so, pretty much when he gets down there, I see him. I grab him by his shirt underwater, pretty much like choking him, and punch him in the face like 3 times. And so, like, he gets out and he's just like, oh, jeez, what was that for? And so, like, I'm just like, maybe he shouldn't have been such a, like, I said something worse, but pretty much a jerk. And so, anyways, though, he's just like, okay, well, guess what? I'm about to, like, do even worse to you. He said something, he said pretty much like an adult phrase that is really close to kick your butt, but, something else. Because, again, sorry, just PG, I just don't really want to swear on this. Just. Anyways, so he's just being an absolute jerk and stuff during this whole time. So I get up and I'm just like, listen, Dad, I gotta talk to you about this kid. You gotta do something. And so he's pretty much like, listen, at this point, he threw the first punch pretty much. I really don't care what you do after this. So I'm just like, you know what? That's cool. I'll beat him up. It's just like, if I have to, I will. Not really wasn't on my agenda today, but if I have to, why not? And just because it's just like, again, I'm like getting really ticked off at this kid. And so, anyways, so this, I guess, is when it gets really funny and almost when the entire thing stops. Sorry that this video has been pretty long, by the way. So what happens next is that, like, my dad didn't really do too much. So, like, the biggest, like, kid in my group, pretty much, who was 16, 17 now, but 16 then, and pretty much, let me just say, he looks like a type of person that you don't want to mess around with. Like, you don't want to, like, you really just don't want to, like, tick him off, pretty much. And so he walks over to the girl and he's just like, hey, you know that ball that you threw in the toilet like 10 minutes ago? And she's like, yeah. He's just like, how about you go get that? And so she was just like, uh, no. And he was just like, listen, I'm pretty good friends with the people who own this place, so either you can listen to me or you can listen to them. And she was like, alright, I'll go get it. And so I'm just kind of like following her, and I was just like watching her reach into the toilet and grab the ball. And this was just like the most hilarious and disgusting thing, just because you could see her face. And she was like, I didn't feel bad for her, but you know what I mean. Like, it was bad, but it was funny. And so pretty much, um, that is almost where this ends, I guess that you could say. Just because what happens next is pretty funny too. So pretty much what happens next is that same night there was a karaoke night at the camp, because like at one of the playgrounds they had like this venue type place almost where like you could where like they had like performances and stuff, and they had a karaoke night one night. And so I'm so mad that I missed this. I'm like really mad that I did miss this. Anyways, so I didn't go up and sing anything because I don't really like to sing that much. Apparently, though, he went up, he started to sing, and then he got so embarrassed that he started to cry on the stage. And I was like in the bathroom or something. Let me just say, like, it was pretty funny just because like my whole family was like laughing at him. Like my dad's like girlfriend and her kids and stuff, and I was just like, yeah, oh my gosh. The one time that I actually choose to go to the bathroom instead of laughing at people that sing badly, like it was not a good time, I guess, at that day. But let me just say, this kid was just a jerk. Just if you're at a camp or something, and just be nice to people, I guess. Even if you're not a champ, I don't even know why I just said if you're at a champ or something. That's pretty much if you're anywheres and there's someone just like starting to like make you mad or something, just ask them not to be so like jerky pretty much, and just ask them, hey, can you just stop doing that? And, hopefully that I would do something. It didn't really do anything in my case. But still, pretty funny story. If you would like to hear more stories, I have plenty of them. I have a lot of stories. In fact, I have another one, or like two or three actually, just from that one campground. Um, from like the 2 trips that I went and stuff. And yeah, so anyway, so if you did like this video, sure to like, comment, and subscribe to USBC Gaming. I'll see you all in the next video.